Hi, I'm Kim Ayers, and I'm going to tell you about a social issue in America today. We are all aware of the many tragic events that have taken place in America in which young people have taken the lives of many innocent victims and then their own. I believe that mental illness is at the heart of the problem. Mental illness is one of the most commonly overlooked social issues in America today, almost as if some use it as a catty excuse to commit crime. But what about those who are struggling daily and do not have the knowledge or resources to reach out and gain the skills needed to overcome? Gathered here today are the people who have the ability to reach our teens, and it is my understanding that we, as providers of safety and education, have the ability to gain the knowledge and the skills needed to help these kids overcome. With understanding comes wisdom, and with wisdom comes power, and we have the power to reach these kids and make this uncommon social problem one that is heard and not just talked about behind closed doors. Over the last 3 years, I have studied mental health, working toward a career in human services in which I plan to work with children and teens coming from high-risk situations such as children of parents with depression, with drug abuse issues, or domestic violence. And over the last year, I have actually had my own struggles with mental health. And I believe that through my experiences, it has made me better able to reach out to Americans today and share with others my testimony. Let's take a look at how easily overlooked mental health is in America, not just with teens in mind, but with healthcare in general. Mental health still holds a stigma today that never ceases, and we've had many warning signs. Think over the last year in America's news. We've had issues with young kids shooting others, and yet the media blames the guns. And this is no pro-gun speech at all. But what about the mental state that the person was in to take such actions? We don't focus on what pushed the person to that level, how completely alone they must have felt. Healthcare is such a hot topic with many new changes coming about. Thousands without healthcare will soon have the ability to seek medical attention and take better action with their health, yet very little action is being taken to provide resources necessary to get the just common signs and warning factors out there about depression and anxiety and bipolar disorders. Still today, when people openly talk about anxiety or mental health, and really you think of the doctor in the white lab coat who's working on his patient with wires attached to his head, and the doctor's hoping to shock the traumas out of the person. Or you think of the patient who is staring out a window hopelessly at a world that they once knew, but that's not the case anymore. Mental health, mental illnesses in general are everywhere. They're in these kids, they're in you and me. We're just not talking about it. There's so much that the common person doesn't know about mental health. With so many packets and information handed out about cancer and AIDS, why are we cutting ourselves short, not doing the same things with mental health? Many people don't even realize that their kids are struggling, that they're withdrawing. On many common issues such as drug use, we take action. We create groups where others can go and meet with another person who has been through the same struggles as they have, and they can learn the skills. How's this person overcoming? How are they dealing with these things? And many people have made great impacts due to these groups. I've been learning about a new group called Girl Talk, where high school girls will go and meet with middle school girls, and they will share with them the struggles that they had during that transition time from middle school to high school, because it's a very, very tough time in a young teen's life, in a young girl's life. There's many changes going on with the body, with the emotions, and to just be able to sit down and talk with someone who is closer in their age range, that they can relate to easier, because it's kind of hard to talk to mom and dad about boy issues or things like that. This group has really made a big difference in many, many girls' lives across America, and that's just an example of the kind of groups that we can create. And where does our faith fit into all this? Where's God when all this suffering is going on? Well, He's right there, and He has a lot to say about depression and anxiety. But most importantly, He has a lot to say about gaining knowledge and sharing your testimony. In the book of Psalms, David wrote about many feelings and emotions that he did not understand, yet he reached out to God, and he prayed earnestly, seeking God's face, seeking His will, God's will for his life, and praying for these feelings to be relieved. And that is very similar to what many people would speak about with regards to depression and anxiety. They're very, very common, and he reached out to God. Psychology and faith have had a very long battle, but today many, many Christian outlets have become available where Christian counselors are gaining the knowledge to implement their faith along with the kinds of things that we've learned through the study of psychology to help Christians overcome in a godly manner, keeping in mind the kind of values that the Christian has. It is our job today to make the public, and especially our young teens and adults, aware that mental illness is not something to be embarrassed about anymore. God has brought us through many storms, and He will continue to bring us through. And I'd say first to anyone who's struggling right now to seek God, to pray to God and ask for His mercies and ask for His guidance first, and pray that He would put the right people in your path so that that person would be working toward what you want, to be free of these anxieties and not be put on medications, or if you need medications, to pray that God will help you to have the knowledge to know what is best thing to take and what's not, and how long to take it. And in conclusion, I want to reemphasize the importance that teachers and co-workers, parents really get out there and get to know what is mental illness really. Just find out how common it really is. Finding groups like Girl Talk for your teen or a teen that you may know, reaching out to their parents and helping them to understand what these kids are struggling with. And as we leave today, I'm going to hand out just a little packet of information that has a couple of websites that I found to be really helpful in my studies for this topic. And these websites include one where you can create a login, and you don't have to be a teacher or guidance counselor or a counselor. You just be a parent or just be a friend, and go on this website and create a login and begin to watch videos that can teach you all the knowledge, all the real and active knowledge that you need for mental illnesses today, and how you could reach out to others. You don't have to be someone like a judge or teachers, like I said. It can just be you and me, and we can really make a difference. Thank you for listening.